It's the Mammoth Plumber Podcast with Tyler Williams, the marketing man.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Jered Williams Show. Today, we got a special guest on, Mr. Tyler Williams, my very own brother. What's up, man?
I'm here to talk about our beards. That's the only reason why I
This
came.
whole podcast is going to be about beards. It's going to be dope.
Mine's new, yours is older.
We're actually shifting the entire podcast.
Yep, it's going to
over.
be the Wealthy Beard Cast. Like,
It's not it. We don't even
It's
call
not
this
even
the Wealthy
Wealthy
Plumber. Yeah, it's funny. For everybody who doesn't know, my brother owns a marketing agency. And he's the one who's done the majority of our marketing, I'll say. And he's the reason I probably am as involved in marketing as I am. And I'd say a major reason for like why we're able to grow, scale businesses, because I have somebody that I can like talk to about marketing. And I feel like I understand it at a deeper level because of that, which I think has helped me out quite a bit.
well, I remember when you started, you were like, hey, can you do this part for me?
Yeah.
But you were always curious, which I think is important.
Yeah. You have to understand it to some extent,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. So you're here, you own a marketing agency, you serve just plumbers. Majority.
Plumbers. We still have some special projects like in
Yeah.
Fairbanks, right?
Yeah.
But those are really my special projects. And then you have to do plumbing for us to be able to consider you. If
Yeah.
you're like an electrician and a plumber, we'll look at it. But if you're only an electrician, we're like, no, it's just too much. It's hard for us to pivot like that.
Right. Just for streamlining business operations, keeping costs down for the customer, keeping production high,
Yep.
results high.
It's
I
like-
get that.
Yeah. I don't know how we could do what we do if we were trying to serve everybody at this point. It's bonkers.
Yep. I agree. So, but regardless, like marketing a plumbing company and marketing an HVAC company, marketing an electrical company, marketing a pressure washing company, they're pretty much all the same. Slight differences.
Yeah. Okay. So the only reason why they're all the same is because they all serve the same customer.
They serve the same customer,
Yeah,
right?
you're-
And kind of the general idea is the same. You just might have slight tweaks in your messaging,
Yeah.
your timing, those kinds of things.
Seasonality depends more for HVAC.
Right.
Really.
Yep.
Landscaping, all those. Home services, like there's a ton of home services
Yeah.
agencies. And we even went deeper than just home services.
Yeah.
Like just plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I wanted the repeatability between customer to customer to customer to customer.
Yeah. So on this, I mean, I think we should talk about how to market your company in 2025.
What somebody should do in 2025.
Yeah, because it's completely changed. Even in like I remember going through 2024 and going like, this is changing so fast. And I'd say it's changed even more since then.
I think we're going to see more.
I
think-
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, okay. So I think what we did for Prospector when you launched,
Yeah.
it was different than what we went to when you were like near the end of your run with Prospector, right?
Yep.
And then that's been different. It's almost like reverted back,
Yeah.
I think, to some degree. And largely that's the difference between balance of lead generation and brand awareness,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So, because when
This is what I want to ask you because I think we might have a little bit of different opinions. Like,
oh my God.
how do we, this is what we should cover.
Okay.
I'm a brand new company. What should I do? Like, how should I start marketing? Because we get a lot of people that watch this and then we'll go in like, okay, so now once we're there and we're doing 1 to 2 million, what do we do then?
Yeah. So yeah, and the starting days they're hard because you don't know what you're doing often.
Yep.
Right. And you also aren't fully you haven't built up the resilience of the swings yet.
Yeah.
And so everything freaks you out, and that's normal. Like everything's mountains and valleys. And
True.
then over the longer time frame, it becomes like just hills.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Why is that?
I think that's just psychology. I think that's just human nature, right? The first time you have an argument with a spouse,
Yep.
you're like, oh, snap, it's over, right? Or let's say not a spouse, let's say a long-term boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. And then you get through it, you work through it. And the second time you go, oh no, we've done this before.
Mhm.
This isn't our first rodeo. We can deal with this.
Mhm.
And I think business is just the same.
So I think so as well, but I would add that I think that the swings actually don't get as bad the longer you're in
Well,
business. Like you start bringing in, like think about it. So I'm brand new company.
mhm.
Every customer is a new customer.
Yeah.
I've been in the market for 5 years and I've got a 70% return customer rate. And all of a sudden I only have to market to 30% of my customers, which allows me to use my marketing budget differently during slow season.
It gives you the stability. And that's the thing. Like
It does.
the first, I'd say 3 years in business,
Mm-hmm.
it feels tenuous because you're building the foundation. And what is your foundation? It's a bit of your business operations,
Yep.
definitely,
Yep.
as you figure those out. But it's also just your sheer customer base. Like a person who, for plumbing,
Mm-hmm.
like that person's going to use you 2, maybe 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And you never have to pay to get them again as long as you serve them right. And so everyone, that first year is so critical. Like have the best possible service you can, so that way everybody comes back and everybody starts being like, this is the guy,
Yep.
this is the company. And then, because I've thought of this recently, it's like you have to have, it builds you a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You can build a house on it. Then the next year you have that foundation and then another layer of foundation. You can build a bigger house on it.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps on stacking. And then, like you said, yeah, you hit a funky spot where like market changed, lead flow goes,
Yeah.
major competitor moves in, whatever. Like you still have all those customers, so you can take bigger hits
Yeah.
like to the infrastructure. And this is also why like
Yeah.
guys who've been around 3+, 5+, especially 5+ years,
Yeah.
they feel like standards to the community if they've been building right.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys don't too.
Is it easier to take the guys who have been around for
Yeah,
a few years than the brand new ones?
definitely. Because there's enough influx of customer base where the business is healthy, almost irrespective of the marketing to a point, right?
Mhm.
And so like they have this customer base that's just there. For
Mhm.
the most part, it's pretty solid. They have to do a lot to mess that up.
Mhm.
And then there's less pressure on the new influx of customers. And so, because it's a smaller percentage of the business.
Right.
And so that makes the relationship with the marketing agency easier because there's more stability
Mhm.
in the business. So therefore there's more stability among the leadership of the company.
Mhm.
And of course in the finances, they don't need every single lead brand new in order to make that company make money. And so they're looking at things not from like a month to month, they're looking at things from a quarter to 6 months to even a year.
Yeah.
And that's the true story of marketing. A lot of people look at like month to month and it's like, well, so much of marketing is changing the dynamics of somebody's brain space.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen in a month.
No.
So you got to like,
It doesn't even happen. It happens in 6 months, but not to the full effect.
yeah. So do you want to go over like what the early days, the actions people should take?
Yeah. Let's say somebody like the guy who just started his business. What are the basic things that he should do? 'Cause everybody should probably doesn't matter what size business you are, you should have these things set up.
So there's like the marketing setup and the like foundational elements of like marketing just being there.
Yeah.
And then you get into like, okay, now how do we amplify that into a community?
Yeah.
So for that foundation though, like it starts with your name.
Yeah.
This is the biggest mistake is
Yeah.
people will be like, I'm in Pensacola right now. So like I'm Pensacola Plumbing Incorporated.
Yeah.
And then the problem with that is if anybody wants you in particular, they have to sift through everybody else.
Right.
And so that's the first mistake I usually see. And so if somebody comes to us with a really generic name, we know it's going to be a harder fight to make them known,
Mm-hmm.
like as through brand awareness or even lead gen. It hurts both sides.
Yeah.
And so don't do that. Have one unique word that is easy to spell, easy to say, easy to remember in your name.
Yep.
Dude Wash being a good example.
Yep.
Dude, right? You could
Yep.
have been Dude Plumbing, whatever.
Yep.
So that's the first thing.
Dudes that plumb.
Yep.
If you're thinking about starting, there you go.
There you go. there goes your next venture. Too bad somebody else can get it. So then you have, all right, we got the name. Now you can get all your digital assets in order. So that's going to be like, of course, your URL.
Uh-huh.
Again, simpler is better.
Yep.
.com is better than .plum.com. Like If it was a dudeplumber.plum, that's confusing. Dudeplum.com, cool. We
Yep.
got it. So your URL, and then you can start building out all the accounts on those other services that you don't really own, right? So your website is actually, you will own your website. You should own your website. Website is a big one.
Yep.
Like, and a lot of people overcomplicate. If you're just starting and you got no revenue, don't go like build out a 70-page site.
No.
Start with like a one pager with
Yep.
clear, concise contact and promise. Very basic,
Yep.
but it's something. Then go get your Facebook, go get your Instagram, go get your TikTok, go get your Snap, your LinkedIn business.
Yep.
Like LinkedIn personal and business are separate.
YouTube.
YouTube. Yep. Get a channel.
Yep.
That's something I wouldn't have advised 2 years ago, but I do now.
Yep.
Right. And that covers most of it right there.
Yep.
Right. And so what does that do? That suddenly gives you a holding spot for stuff and communication pieces to reach certain audiences.
Yeah.
So then you want to go through and actually do them well. Google Business. That
Yep.
should even be before you could start it before the website, but absolutely like at around the same time as the website, Google Business is super critical.
I think there's so much opportunity if you have a Google business listing, if you just have a one-page website,
Yeah.
to look better than everybody else that doesn't have a website.
It's amazing how many people don't have websites on their Google Business.
It's crazy.
It's
a
insane
lot.
to me. Like
Yep.
we get people coming through our system and I'm like, cool, I couldn't find your website. Oh yeah, I didn't get to it, but you did get to your Google Business listing,
Yeah.
which to some degree I'm like, good, you got that far.
Yeah.
But oh man, just a couple more steps and you would have been way better off.
Yeah, they'll have a Google, like there's tons of people out there that have a Google business listing, no website and no social medias.
Mhm.
So the only communication that they get with their customers is photos on their Google business listing.
Those same people usually have like Thumbtack and Yelp though.
True.
But
Okay.
that's a whole nother ball game in lead gen.
Well, let's keep going down
Yeah.
down
So
the rabbit hole because
The trick with all these platforms, because you're building sort of like the bricks in your system, is to ensure that you actually fill them out well and they look good enough to like just visit, right?
to look legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like go ask with your Google business listing, it'll give you a link for reviews. Go grab that. Start asking everyone you've done side work for, every family member to like, hey man, would you mind leaving me a review? And try and build up that review like source, because that right there, what a lot of people don't realize is they can advertise like crazy and that's still the hang up. Like it comes back to haunt you if you don't have enough review flow there, because
Totally.
the minute you show up on Google Business, you are also going up against every other plumber in the market with that review marker as a credibility factor.
Yep.
So, so I tell people like make a game out of it. Give yourself a reward for the first 10, 20, 50, 100, 150. When you start getting crew, make it like an office initiative. Hey guys, how can we get more reviews? Hey guys, how can we do this? So, but it starts today.
Every person you have out in the field should be able to get one review a day.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
So if it's just you out in the field, you should be able to get a review if you're busy enough every single day.
Yeah. If you got a full schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that never take your foot off the gas of that. And
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a year, and I think I'll probably be saying it for another 2 to 3.
So getting regular reviews, does that help you rank better?
Yeah.
On your Google business profile?
Yeah. A lot of people think like number one, man, I could talk for an hour just on SEO and the myths or.
We can go into that because I still get guys that are like, hey, I'm looking for an SEO company.
I know.
I'm like, well, what else are you doing? Nothing. Well, and you want to spend $1,500 a month on SEO?
Yeah.
That's going to get you maybe a few organic calls like a year from now?
So, okay.
Why?
Let's dovetail into SEO after I finish the build.
Okay. Sounds good.
So you get all those social profiles ready, and then you can suddenly start activating and sharing those out among the community. You can start like joining the Chamber of Commerce, and they're going to have links to you. You're going to start being able to drive people to you using like flyers and business cards and brochures and yard signs.
What about a logo?
Logo? Yep. Okay. So branding, which I kind of have branding as a separate spot because that's the way I run it within the business, right? Once you have yourself established,
Yep.
once you start doing work, start saving up for brand.
Yeah.
A brand.
What do you do in the meantime?
In the meantime?
Yeah.
In the meantime, network. Boots on the ground.
But what do you do for a logo?
For a logo, just go hop on, like you got ChatGPT,
Yep.
which is probably, I mean, it's probably your best way to make something you can control.
Yep.
Right. At the moment without spending thousands of dollars on branding. So you can start there and get something and just accept what you can get out of that platform, understanding that, okay, I'm going to get something better later. And there's an art to brand design.
Yep.
And like I've seen people be like, hey, here's what I got out of ChatGPT. And I'm like, cool, this kid has 7 fingers, which is becoming less of an issue.
Yeah.
But also like, and this pipe is like escaping out of like somebody's shoulder. Like there's a lot of little things.
Yep.
Or it's too cluttered or whatever. But just put all that aside.
Yep.
Because it's still better than like just
Nothing.
a name, just text.
Yeah.
And have some form of iconography.
Yep.
Right? So you could use it for characters. You could use it for like, you can say, hey, I want Dude Plumbing incorporated, but I want it as like a hiking badge, and it'll create that for you. I want these kind of colors and things like that.
You can also take snapshots of logos that you like.
Yep.
And say, hey, create me a logo like this one, but I want the company name to be
This.
whatever, Dude Plumbing.
Yep.
Right?
I've done that with a few of our brands that we've developed.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. But
So that's how like we started Dude Wash with a ChatGPT logo while we got the branding going
yeah.
on the back end.
Well, and what it does, it at least gives you some form of visual identity.
Yep.
And this used to be harder because you had to like cobble together these things and you don't have a degree of like knowledge and, you know, color science and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You don't need it to get to that level anymore. And one of my best examples is like the Twitter logo,
Mm-hmm.
$35 on a stock photo resource.
Yeah.
That's what, at least that's the story that I know of. Right.
Yeah.
And I go, if they could create a multi-billion-dollar company out of that, well,
Yep.
brand matters, but that means you can take it as a starting point, right?
True. I mean, we look at like Hiller in Nashville. Horrendous brand.
Yeah.
The smiley face. That's all he has. And there's just Hiller in the most boring text ever. Despite that, they built a multi-$100 million business.
So I do think time and market,
Yeah.
even with a bad brand, means it turns into its signifier, it turns into its landmark.
Right.
But for when you're starting, the problem is you have to build that credibility.
Yeah.
And that's what the brand will do. It goes out ahead of you
Mm-hmm.
in order, like think with Dude Wash, when that brand came in, or even with Prospector is a really good example, right?
Yep.
So like we launched Prospector, you got 3 vans wrapped at once,
I think 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
But once they hit,
Yep.
everybody took notice.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, who's the new guys? Even though Jered had a van.
Yep.
And like, it was really interesting to be in the market, because we're not always now, right?
Yep.
And feel like people like go, oh yeah, I've seen them everywhere. And that's what your brand does.
Even same thing here in Pensacola. We only have 2 vans running around consistently right now. About to have a third, but we're really strong into Facebook and YouTube. Mainly just Facebook, YouTube, and then the billboards.
There's your brands.
And people are like, if I go do an event, they're like, oh, your guys' Facebook ads are so funny. Oh, I love your guys' billboards.
Yep.
Those are the 2 things they mention. And then they also say, yeah, and I see your vans driving around all the time. And we've only got 2. And they just assume we've got tons. Everybody asks us, you guys are a franchise, right? That's what they say. Like they just assume we're a franchise because our branding and our ads and things like that are so good. And
I'm going to totally tell David that. He'll be thrilled.
Yeah.
So,
he did a good job with it.
he did.
Yeah.
Okay. So your brand, I think the reason why that does that,
Yeah.
it creates this illusion of variety
Mm-hmm.
to some degree, is just because people notice more often because it's a stronger visual like thing.
Yeah. It grabs
It's like
attention.
having something sparkly over here, right? And so,
Yeah.
so even though like you could have had a van that just said pressure washing, but there's what, 5 other pressure washing vans would probably look the same.
No.
Maybe not in this.
Try like 150.
Okay. Yeah. So like, and so you just become part of the noise.
Yeah.
Versus if you have a really strong brand, you lift yourself out of the noise. Now you're operating a business that has the potential to be in like a top 10% in the market.
Yep.
Is kind of the way.
For pressure washing, it's the house roof for some reason with the pressure washing wand underneath it and then
Yep.
the name.
I like how
the
plumbing is
company.
always 2 wrenches and an X.
Plumbing is red, white, and blue
Yep.
always.
Yep.
It's either pipe wrench or water drop.
Yep. If you have that,
If you're HVAC, it's the snowflake with half snowflake, half sun.
yep.
Yep.
I
Or
tell,
fire and ice.
I've told my sales team, like, if they have the cross wrench water drop thing,
Yep.
then they don't need marketing. They need branding. Don't
Yeah.
sell them into marketing as
Oh
much
yeah,
as you can.
totally.
Now, if they've been operating with that even in the same market for 20 years, okay, then it becomes
A little different
tricky.
story.
It's just, but they use longevity to counteract that. But when you're starting, if you want to quick start and you
Mhm.
really want people to look at you as a professional, that's where brand is.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's say you are now operating, you're like trying to get jobs out of like Facebook groups, like join every single neighborhood Facebook group you can
Mhm.
and just
And do
so
what?
you take your personal profile
Yeah.
and you start sharing everything from your business page to your personal profile.
Yep.
Okay. As well as be a human, like actually post, hey, yeah, I did this 5K fun run today or whatever, you know.
Yep.
Then you also take your personal profile and you use it as like your Trojan horse into Facebook groups and neighborhoods.
Yep.
And just be a good neighbor. Like
Yeah.
so many people, I can't tell you how many people I've seen get like kicked out of Facebook groups because they're like, yeah, call today. We're running a 50% off special on water heater installs. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
That's not going to cut it.
no, because nobody wants that. And
No.
so, but if you're there and you're like, somebody like go in there, give good recommendations, but then also I'd say as long as you have time every morning, jump in, do a quick search in all those groups for plumbing, drain, clog,
Yep.
like related just like topics,
Mm-hmm.
and then drop in and go, oh, hey, I think this is what you're dealing with. Send me a message if you need any help. Right.
Yeah.
And then what are they going to do? They're going to go, oh, this guy seems to know what he's talking about. They click through and they go, oh, he runs a plumbing company. No wonder. Boom. You have a potential new customer sitting right in front of you.
Yes.
It-
You're,
Multiple, really, because everybody else
Yeah.
sees those too.
and anybody who goes and searches that group
Mhm.
for plumbing is going to see your posts again.
So I tell people, go back in history. Like, it doesn't have to be a recent post because people do search it.
Yep.
So like go search plumbing and start responding to all those as though you just found it.
Yeah.
Like, and so those little actions, they still aren't going to like make you an immediate lead.
Right.
But you had Dalton on the podcast. This is what I counseled him to do.
Yep.
And then look at him now. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So, but like, so do that. It doesn't mean that it's going to build your business 100%, but marketing is often a coalescence of like a billion things that all come together.
Yeah. So what I found with Dude Wash, one thing that we can consistently post in the Facebook groups, anytime we're doing a giveaway.
Yep.
So if I make a giveaway and we're making a Facebook ad about it, I'll take that video and I'll post it on my personal page,
And then share it.
and then I'll share it into the groups. Like, hey guys, Dude Wash is doing a giveaway.
But
Get a
it's-
free house wash.
It's really important that like, because at that point it's Jered Williams saying, hey,
Yeah.
this company's doing this thing.
Right.
Most of those people don't know Jered Williams and Dude Washers Anonymous.
No, huh?
And
Nope.
it's not even trying to be deceptive. It's just like, this is the accepted avenue for me to be able to put
Yep.
this here.
Yep.
So
So
that-
like, and if you're getting on Facebook and you have no friends,
Mhm.
what should you do?
Go make friends. go be
Like,
go be a
in-
human
In real life, or
I
because I think there's serious power. Like,
Yeah.
both businesses I've started, like in Fairbanks, I went from 0 to 3,000 friends. I've started deleting all those friends now and adding friends from Pensacola.
Yep.
And what I like to go find the prominent business owners and see if I can get them to be friends.
So
and then start becoming friends of their friends.
well, I think that's an extension of the networking you should be doing. Like, because realistically, if you start a plumbing company, you should be talking to all the plumbing supply places. You should be talking to all the other plumbers. You should be talking to the electricians, the drywall guys.
Yep.
Anyone who walks through the threshold of the door or
Yep.
gets on property
Yep.
is somebody that you can build a relationship with
Yeah.
that can be reciprocal.
Yeah.
Like you can help them, they can help you. And some people might like give you the cold shoulder, whatever, get over it. Like that's just part of it.
Totally.
But there's, tons of people who help the homeowner.
Yep.
You should make friends with them. You should be friends with those people on Facebook,
Mhm.
interact with their own posts and marketing on Facebook.
I agree. And I also think you should. So like here, there's a group called Pensacola Contractors
Yeah.
that I joined, and I can go in there and you can click members and you can see all the
Mhm.
members with things in common, and you can start adding friends. Facebook will cut you off at some point, but then you go back in there after some of those friend requests have gone through. All of a sudden you can add more friends.
You can do it with the neighborhood groups too. What
Oh,
are
yeah.
those? Those are likely homeowners in those neighborhoods.
Yep.
So like those kinds of things, a lot of people like it's all organic, but it costs energy and time. But when you're first starting out,
Yep.
if you aren't working, your time should be spent marketing
Yes.
and doing the things that even an agency can't quite do for you.
Right.
So, and then,
so then here's the other one that gets me. So you have a I don't know, he's probably your buddy, but your competitor as well. Nice guy, Josh Crouch.
yeah,
Dude, I see him on my Facebook feed. The
Jeez.
dude posts like
He's
8
everywhere.
to 10 times
I know.
a day, right?
I see him all the time. He's always popping up in my feed too.
Dude, he is nonstop on my feed.
Mhm.
And the thing, like, you can do that.
Yeah.
So, like, if you went to the Facebook groups, like we have Pensacola group, it's got like 80,000 people in it. We've got the Pensacola contractor group, it's got like 10,000 people in it. And then we've got all the neighborhood groups. If you go get in there and you start adding friends, and let's say you add 3,000 friends in your area, and you just start posting once a day on your personal page,
Yeah.
or twice a day, share something from your business page,
And do
share something personal every single day. And what's funny, if somebody interacts with one of your personal posts, like you out in the community doing something in the community, they like it, all of a sudden Facebook is going to show them a whole bunch more of your other posts,
including your business
including
posts.
your business posts. And it's free.
So
And it's crazy effective.
well, yes. Like the only thing that really goes beyond that is just straight up advertising, like hitting
Right.
people like crazy. But
Yeah.
like,
But that costs money.
yeah, you don't have the revenue to support that at first.
No.
So you got to do these other actions. And I've met people who are like, well, I should be, but it's just a lot. And I'm like, so learn it. You learn how to be a plumber, learn
Mhm.
how to do this. Cause I think marketing is one of those skills. Like I know I run an agency that helps people with it, but I love it when the clients know why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And they are also doing things on their end that we can't do.
Well, just think about that. Like you can go add 3,000 friends in the course of 6 months.
Yeah.
And you could start talking to those people and they could start to know who you are by the end of the year.
That's a lot.
If you converted 10% of those, just 300 customers at a $1,500 average ticket, that's what, $450K in revenue
Mhm.
just from posting on Facebook for free.
And a lot of it is people don't hear about it like this.
Right. Yeah.
So, and you don't know until you know, but the other side of it is the energy involved. So,
Yeah.
okay. So then what do you do when you start getting energy crunched before you get too deep? Friends, schedule these things. You can schedule them.
Or
there's schedulers out there.
Imagine you're doing this and you start getting busier and busier and busier. So your time starts to dwindle. But as your time dwindles, if you're priced properly,
You start building revenue.
your bank account should start to grow, and you should then be able to hire somebody to help do ads.
Yep.
So that you don't have to do this on your personal Facebook page anymore.
Because that's really what you're doing is you are trading time for visibility.
Yep.
And eventually you reach this bottleneck where you have to trade money for visibility.
Yep.
And so after you have done, trying to think if there's any other things in like the organic setup.
You
I
got
think
all your
that's pretty much
socials,
it.
you got your website, you got your GMB.
Yep. Then it becomes
You're posting on
I can't
Facebook.
get any farther. So like you're in a market of 150,000.
No, there's
No,
like
it's more.
500.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like
Yep.
Anchorage. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's no possible way, even on Facebook, that you can reach every homeowner.
Yep.
like organically. You reach a cap.
Yep.
Like, and so when you start reaching that cap, that's when it goes, well, how do I blast through that? You pay Facebook for it.
Yeah.
And then you can start looking at paid ads. And there's boosted post and then there's ads manager. And they are both two different ways of just turning something into an ad.
Okay, before you go there though, but
Yeah.
so like
deep.
let's say this person set up their business, they got their G&B, they got their socials, they're starting to post, and they've got all that going. Where do they go from there? Like very next thing, what would you think it would be?
After they've got their stuff going,
Yeah.
they're starting to run out of time.
Well, they're posting for free. Should they do anything else?
If they're posting for free, I think the networking is really important. Like join chamber,
Mm-hmm.
go get banners made, start looking at home shows,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Like people underplay the community involvement, or they think that digital is going to supplant that for some reason.
Yep.
And can it? Sure. But I don't think that it's as strong
Yep.
as physical presence. Right.
Yep.
So I like the idea of contests you mentioned earlier,
Uh-huh.
because that engages the same communities. And then looking for those things. How can I sponsor like things with visibility in the community? But then look at how you can take those things and amplify them, which is going to be more work.
Yep.
And cost some extra money.
Yep.
But a lot of people will sponsor. I just did a 5K at home with my kids.
Yeah.
Right. But tons of sponsors on the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
You know how many sponsors showed up to this run?
Zero.
And I was like, all it would take, like, 'cause I was thinking about Prospector. They didn't sponsor this one, but like, all it would take is for them to sponsor it and
Mhm.
then to go there with bottles of water and have a little like table and booth
Yeah.
with a banner, van park right next to them near the finish line.
So I
Get
used
your
to,
water.
I did that when I owned Prospector.
Did you?
I wouldn't even sponsor the race. I just park on the race
Yeah.
course and
Like the
hand
Midnight
out
Sun
water.
Run? Yeah.
That like because they'll have water stations with there'll just be a big 5-gallon or 10-gallon jug of water and cups.
Yep.
And you have to fill up your own cups.
Yeah.
And so I would just go park next to one of those with the Prospector van and fill up the cups and go cheer people on.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "You're the dude from the commercials." And I'm
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, that's me."
So, and that's the thing, like start looking for those avenues, because at first you're just digital, except for the people you serve.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you're doing is you're showing up, you're becoming physical and tangible,
Mhm.
real
Yeah.
by doing that. So if you have your van and a table and cups, imagine if the cups had a logo on them. You can get logo printed cups pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And like you're handing them out.
Even if they don't.
Yeah, I know.
If
Even if
all
they
you
don't.
got is a wrapped van there.
I love doing everything
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
So if you can, like post on your Facebook ahead of time, hey, the first 10 people to reach our water station are going to get free hats or sunglasses or whatever, something they can
Yeah.
carry with them. Like for these fun family dynamic events, now you got kids running around like wearing your hat occasionally or whatever.
It's also just good content.
It's good
You-
content.
like you can literally grab your phone nowadays and flip the camera around and be like,
here I
"Hey guys,
am.
I'm here handing out water," and hand out water to some dude running by.
Yeah.
Ask him how it's
You
going.
can run with them for a little bit and be like, hey,
Yeah.
how's it going?
Yeah.
Like all those things are fun.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing to remember is, why are they fun? Because they're human.
They're human. Yeah.
And-
it turns you into human, not just.
And you're not doing that saying, hey, did you know that you could have us stop by your house and we'll do a free inspection on your plumbing system? No, none of that.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. So,
But if nobody cares, but if you don't know what else to post, please post that at
Yeah.
least. Post
Yeah,
something.
do something.
Like something
is better than nothing
Yeah.
all the time. And so many people are like, I just don't know. So they don't. That's a big problem. So
Yeah.
I tell people is align when you're looking at organic social or any social,
Mhm.
like try and align your target demographics interests with your plumbing company, not try and like have them come to you and meet you where you're at. You got to go to them with what they care about if you
Mhm.
want that engagement and then that spread of like perception.
Yep.
And when you talk to somebody about something they care about, they listen. So, and that's why tips are also important, like, or something that people can do. If you're struggling, you can, like, there's probably a billion tips you can think of about your home and plumbing system that
Yeah.
a homeowner could know, and you become the authority.
Yep.
right? So those kinds of things. Then you get to the point where you're like, oh snap, now I need can't do ads. Like now I've done everything. I feel like I got a saturation there.
So what about like Google local service ads?
Those I usually tell people to start as soon as they can.
Yeah, ASAP.
Yeah.
Okay, what
Because-
about like I have a whole new appreciation for like lead generation services, like even Angie's List.
I know you and I,
eLocal.
we've gone through a shift. You and
I have, because I've met too many people that used them and had just great success stuffing their face with leads in the beginning.
Mhm.
And
So-
like I had Chaz Wolf on,
Mhm.
general contractor, another guy with the beard. And he literally, so he used to work for Angie's List or Home Advisor or something like that. So he understood the game and he grew his whole business on it.
And I
3 million, just boom, all of
I-
a sudden.
did the same.
Same.
I used to be very anti like secondary lead gen platform. Now
Yeah.
I am like my PPC, the head of my PPC has a really good quote that I love. And I think this encapsulates it, which is there's no right or wrong. There's only test.
Yeah.
And so, because I ended up doing consults with guys who were like, yeah, we built this, we got to like 1 million on Yelp alone.
Yep.
And then, well, and I've also had consults where it's like, we got to 1 million on Yelp and then suddenly something stopped.
Yes.
And it's like, well, what else have you been doing? And they hadn't been doing anything else.
Right.
So that's the danger of relying on the lead gens. To a
But
point.
man, if you can use it in the beginning to bring leads in the door.
Do it.
So yeah, I would 100% do it.
Yeah.
The only thing is you have to realize that you're not going to be able to afford those leads if you're not priced right and if you can't sell.
So I would say that even like guys like me will say, do local service ads as soon as possible because
Yeah.
they're really good price for it. But then I've had people come back to me and be like, that lead costs $90 off of local service. I'm like, dude, that's super cheap.
Yeah.
In comparison
Yeah.
to like PPC. So, and
This is where we run into this weird thing with pricing in the beginning because you have lead costs are high, the cost to run and grow your business is high.
Yep.
And then jobs are few and far between. So the most logical thing to do is to just be really expensive and get really good at selling your customer so that you can make the most amount of money on every single call you go to.
because honestly, where we find that things don't work
Yeah.
for the most part are people who still are figuring out the business side. And that's natural and normal.
It is. It totally is.
But
Because the other thing we struggle with is then people raise their rates, but then they can't sell for beans.
yeah, now they're expensive without being able to tell people why.
So then they're losing
Like,
calls,
yeah.
and the calls are few and far between. So you can't afford to sell them cheap, and you can't afford to lose them either. Like you have to go out there, be expensive, and get really good at selling them. It's
This
just
is-
fact of the matter.
I also think this is where people need to watch their numbers. Like so many guys don't know their close rates.
No, they don't.
And that's a problem when they start coming through my door. Cause I'm like, well, if we drove you this much, what does this look like? What does this turn into?
Yep.
And so like tracking how many points of contact that are qualified good lead sources, how many of those turn into estimates, how many of those turn into closed jobs, which means revenue.
Yep.
Like
I think the best way to go in the very beginning when you're a one-man show, you either have to grow extremely slow
Mhm.
and get organic call volume coming in to get your expenses covered
Yeah.
before you start advertising. Or you can start advertising and getting leads and doing jobs off the bat, but you need to not lose a single call. Like go to the home, pitch a high price, talk to the homeowner, and then do not leave that home without collecting some money. Negotiate
Yeah.
if you have to.
Well, so
Do it for cheaper if you have to, because your labor doesn't cost you anything, and some money is better than no money. And if you bought that lead and it costs you $200 and you walk away with zero, you just lost $200. If you buy that lead for $200 and you walk away with $200, you may have lost some of your time, but at least you paid for the lead, and that would be better than losing money.
So I typically tell people, because they get nervous about raising their prices too, to make things worth doing. I tell them is like, just because you get a no doesn't mean that that's the end of the conversation.
No,
Like
you should expect.
Like you said, negotiate. And so many people are like, well, they said no, that's it. The other thing is, and I know we're getting a little bit off track of like our path.
But the other hard part about this is you'll get these guys, they'll learn to negotiate. There comes a time where the lead volume is good and you have to stop negotiating.
Yes.
You have to be willing to let that go.
You can't
allow your guy, like if you got employees, you can't allow them to negotiate because they're just going to negotiate down and you're never going to hit your margin.
I give my employees levers when it comes to financial stuff that they can pull. I'm like, okay, these are the circumstances by which you can pull these levers. And I wish more people would think about it in that way. But you're right. If you negotiate every deal, you start thinking, well, everything has to be a deal to close. And that's not necessarily true.
And that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah. So
there comes a point where you have to be like, no more discounting.
Yep.
We sell at margin and that's it.
And then you have to be okay with no's. But the idea is you have enough lead flow that you can say goodbye to the no's. Because what you're ultimately what you're trying to do is gain a certain kind of customer. And
yeah, kind of. We could go real deep into because like I remember, I have reels that say like I only sell to rich customers, and I think people interpret that like I only sell to multimillionaires. What I mean by rich customers are like people who have jobs who make an income. They're like
income household.
They're not in the poorhouse, right?
Yeah.
Like there's super poor people. You're never going to sell to them. But I think you have to learn how to sell to people who are making 80K and all the way through.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a marketplace, like here in Pensacola, let's say there's 500,000 people here, and let's say 100,000 of them are in the poorhouse, and then 200,000 of them are in the lower middle class. And if I just say, I'm going to structure my business only to serve the uber wealthy and not hit these lower middle class people, I just cut out the majority of my market. So we probably shouldn't go into that. But
you could get like sales and marketing.
You're going to attract
related,
those people that they're going to call your business.
They are. So, and that's the other thing is.
And to just say, they're not my customer. What if we could tweak our product or our service to where they can be my customer?
Or the thing is, the first no should never be your only no, too. One of my biggest hangups when I'm listening to calls, which I'll do occasionally, I'll jump into a single client. I'll be like, let me go listen in and see what's going on. And I hear like this little, like, hey, no, I'm not interested, right? Okay. Then you know what I never see is a callback. Almost never. Yeah. It's like, okay, have your CSR, hold on that customer for 20 minutes. Call them back, or maybe an hour, whatever. You'll figure out the flow. I don't know exactly where it is. But call them back and say, hey, just wanted to make sure that you found somebody who can take care of you.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, most plumbers are terrible at answering the phone.
Yeah.
And because of that, that's a chance where you get to show that you really care. And again, it's layering of that humanity.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you could get 20% of those people to come in anyway. And over the course of a year, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So it's like the unsold estimates. Like if you're not doing unsold estimates, like as a campaign, like why? It's like, why wouldn't you go follow up on those? The same thing for like a lead that you know they wanted a plumber, but all you did was accept a no. Don't accept a no. Like, and this is training for CSRs, right? Or if you're the guy answering the phone.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, here's what's crazy. Like we just got on with Chirp, and literally the only campaign we have going right now is an unsold estimate campaign. Chirp does way more, but that can't, like, Chirp is $800 a month, and most people, we have two guys out. Chirp's $800 a month, and most people would be like, that's too much. I can't afford it. And Chirp pays for itself. Like, it's for us, just with two guys, we bring in 4 times the amount of revenue of what Chirp costs you straight from Chirp, just by having that automatic follow-up, literally a text follow-up.
Yeah.
and being able to respond right on Chirp. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of guys who are starting out don't realize those are options or needed avenues of communication. Like it shouldn't be,
Yeah.
well, I'll get to follow up with my unsold estimates one day when I have enough money. What it should be, let's say you can't afford Chirp. Like,
Yeah.
well,
Hey,
then
BTW, you can get in our school group and you get a discount on Chirp. Just saying. And then the school group pays for itself just by your discount on Chirp.
Yeah. Like learn to do these things in any way possible, even
Yeah.
sans software, and then layer in the software to help you be more consistent. And then you can easily tell your employees how to use the software and communicate certain ways.
Yeah.
Right. But so many people enter into business without thinking that these are necessary things. And all your competition that is doing well,
Mhm.
they're doing these things.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't expect to run a business that doesn't take certain actions and not, if you're truly looking at them as like your North Star and
Yep.
you aren't willing to put in the work to do what they're doing, you're not going to get there.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, cool. Learn what they do. Go hire one of them. Like, see how they do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Break something in your house environment.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, this is their communication flow. Let me take notes.
Yeah.
But so, okay.
So I think we both can agree, like, you should go test these lead generation sites.
Yes.
Test,
Test.
see if it works.
And the biggest problem is people will put these things in play and then not actually track them for 4 months.
Should be pretty easy to track
It should be.
if you're a one-man show. At this
Yeah.
point.
If you're a one-man show, sure. Just cross-reference where you're getting phone numbers.
Yeah.
Right. So, but if you are having a hard time with it, call Rail. Like just go get a number. It's a call tracking number. It'll record them. You can really figure it out from there.
So the reason I say you should go test these is because we have 800 and I think it's like 865 people in our school group as of right now, somewhere in there. And I've watched people in some markets will go test these and they don't produce. So they'll try Angie List, Home Advisor, eLocal. There's a whole bunch of them. But some people occasionally, like they'll test it, and it's the pattern I see is it seems to be people in bigger markets will test, like somebody will just they'll grow to like 2 million off of eLocal. They'll just boom all of a sudden. And what that does for them is they can go feed money to eLocal and they can start creating enough revenue to be profitable, to cover all their expenses, plus make money. And now they have a nest egg that they can actually go spend on
Other things.
that are more long-term.
And that also reduce their reliance on eLocal. So
correct.
that's one of the biggest things I see is people, they get into a spot where I remember the first consult I had that was like this. It was a guy in Chico, California. He built himself up to 5 million.
Yeah.
And then woke up one day and it was like Yelp is no longer performing. Like we're getting some, but not a lot. And I was spending, it was like 8,000 a month on it. And he just was getting nothing.
So you got to 5 million on 8,000 in ad spend on Yelp. That'd be crazy.
Like this is all from his, like,
Yeah.
The thing is in a consult, you never know what you don't know.
Yeah, true.
So like,
But what causes that? Is it somebody else jumping on Yelp or like 100 other people in your market?
Stop?
Yeah.
I think a lot, it can be competition because imagine if he was one in the market, which is unlikely, but imagine if he was one.
Yeah.
Well, then all that lead flow is going to go to him. Now somebody else comes in, now it's cut by 50%. Or what's more likely is he was like one of 10, maybe that we're getting lead flow. And then like Yelp went, oh snap, all of our leads are going into one spot. Oh, we need to change our algorithm a bit. So let's adjust that. Now something totally out of his control.
Yeah.
Like now it's hurting. And we see this in LSA, local service ads.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it in Yelp. I've seen it in eLocal. I've seen it in Home Advisors and Angie's. Like the thing is, lead generation is great when it's great.
Yeah.
But you are at such a high risk point. And so whenever we have somebody who is performing on like one lead gen system, I'm like, okay, you need to be very careful about scaling on this unless you are okay with scaling down should it disappear.
Yep.
And because on one hand, I'm like, you are getting customers. And if your service is really, really good, that customer should never go back to that lead gen. They should only be your customer.
Right.
So that's another thing. Watch out for customer loss.
Yeah.
Because if if you didn't give a good enough impression, if you
Yep.
weren't nurturing enough, if you weren't a good enough business,
Yep.
then they will go somewhere else. They'll go back to Google, they'll go back to Yelp,
Yep.
and then they will become somebody else's customer and you lost them.
Well, that's why you should have a
You need nurture in the middle.
membership program.
Yeah.
Yep. And you should be getting consistent 5-star reviews.
Yep. Because it all helps and it all stacks on top of it.
Yep.
But if those platforms are performing well, I can't say, oh man, you should stop that just so you aren't as reliant. No,
I
because
think you
each
should
customer
milk
can
it
be
for all it's worth.
exactly
Yeah.
like you're building that foundation
Yep.
brick by brick, and each customer is a new like tier of that wall. So
Yep.
get them, hold them, and then but realize where your risk point is.
Yep.
And so if you're looking at your overall thing, you're like, oh, we're super like this is killing it, but these are nowhere near. What happens if that falters?
Yeah.
Because I would say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
Like all these things change and sometimes on a dime.
Yep.
And you can't anticipate it. LSA is just as susceptible to this.
Oh yeah.
And so
I talked to a business owner in California that all of their calls were coming from LSA, literally like 90% of their call volume.
oh boy.
And that was like 2 years ago. And they were, I think, at like 5 million.
Mhm.
And then I talked to them later and they were like when everybody's LSA call volume just like went to hell because Google changed something,
Yeah.
theirs did the same thing.
Yep.
And so then their business just down,
And-
down.
So, and I think that's because lead generation isn't true marketing to some degree.
Yes, I agree.
So
So like, and then like we're going to get into that. So
there's one thing that we kind of skip past that I think is really important,
what's that?
like SEO
Oh yeah.
and where that sits in the equation of
But
marketing.
before that, like you have these lead aggregators, we'll call them, like third-party platforms you can jump on.
Yeah, the minute you get a Google business
and-
listing, you better be ready to get spam calls.
Yeah, and you can pay for leads. Where does pay-per-click fit? Because it's not real. It's kind of the same thing, but I wouldn't recommend
I've pushed.
somebody jump on pay-per-click
Mm-mm.
as a new business.
So again,
There's so
with
after
pay-per-click-
talking to your pay-per-click guy,
Mhm.
Hamza, is that his name?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a lot more to this than I ever thought there was. It's it's not a simple platform to jump on and get results from.
No.
The cheap results, like
No.
non-crazy expensive results.
And I think that's by design at this point.
Yeah.
Like you and I talked, my tinfoil hat, right? Is
Yeah.
that Google's pushing people to LSA because they hold the control more than the
Yeah.
advertiser.
Uh-huh.
And they need to control that while they're looking at AI degrade their user base. That's a whole nother conversation. But like, I've been pushing PPC off later and later for people
Mm-hmm.
because to me, those other lead gen platforms are more important first before you really try heavy into PPC. You should
Yep.
try those.
Yep.
And that is because the lead cost of PPC, it varies dramatically.
Yep.
And so you should never compare your results to somebody else. A company that has been in the same market for 25 years isn't
Yep.
going to have the same PPC results as somebody who's been in it for 3 months.
What about somebody who's been doing PPC for a year versus a month?
Yeah, that's a huge difference
Yeah.
because there's so much, and it depends on, is it adequately managed?
Yeah.
What region, what keywords, like how many reviews you have still matters,
Mhm.
right? All these things. Where are you sending them? Are you sending them to your front page, to a service page, to a landing page with like a special coupon? Like
Yeah.
all these things are different things that go into it.
Yep.
And the stronger your brand is,
Yep.
like the cheaper you can get customers still.
Yep.
So typically what I would say is when you start paying for leads, like
Yep.
you start out with those lead generators, LSA being one of the chief, just currently that's the setup, right?
Yep.
And then you start taking any extra revenue that you have after that, like, and start building that brand in bigger chunks throughout the community. And this is where people don't anticipate the amount of people you can reach with ads compared to like organic social. Organic social is great, But when it reaches that peak, like that ceiling, you're ceilinged out. And then like my common thing is for $1,000 a month, you can reach 5,500 people with a photo post
Yeah.
at least once a day. And currently we're seeing that like a double.
Yeah.
And after a month of seeing posts from a company that are engaging and funny and a little bit like
Yep.
different and entertaining and built for that platform and for that user,
Yep.
now your company holds a better spot in the mind, right?
Yeah.
So then when you show up on PPC, you can be the fourth choice, which might be a sixth of the cost,
Yep.
and you still get the click against the guys who are spending, $80 a click. You're getting it for 20.
Yeah.
Maybe cheaper, right?
Yep.
So all these things influence each other too.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets really murky, right?
Yeah.
But so many people are focused on leads, they forget, oh, I need to be known.
Yes. And the hard part is like that person might know who you are in a month, but they might not need to call you for another 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is you have timelines that you got to think about when running brand.
Well, I think the thing that I always forget that I've seen happen now more than once is that it snowballs.
Yeah, it does.
Like with pressure washing, people call us maybe once a year, maybe once every other year. It's probably less often than plumbing even. And we've been running brand awareness for 5 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just starting to snowball.
And I think it's important. You've been running brand awareness at an accelerated pace of business your lifetime because
Yes.
you had capital that you could put in.
Yeah, we've only been running Facebook ads and billboards for 5 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we need a third guy at this point.
Yeah.
But we're spending like, it's not an astronomical amount really if you think about it. It's like $12,000 a month on Facebook ads to reach 90,000 people multiple times per month. And the thing is like the longer I do it, the more cemented I become in your head. And so if you just hired a pressure washer and then you saw my ad, and then 14 months from now, you're like, I need pressure washing again. The funny part is like that person is not going to remember the last company they hired.
Yeah.
They're only going to remember my company because I'm the only one that's branded that's been in front of them the whole time.
Yeah.
And the likelihood of them calling me goes through
Way
the roof. But it takes I build brand awareness in, even if I spend 6 months and let's say 30% of those customers needed pressure washing in that 6-month period. And so they called me. Well, if I do it for another 6 months, I've doubled the people that now know who I am. I've cemented even further. And 30% of the people that didn't call me in the first 6 months are still going to call me. And then 30% of the people in the second 6 months are going to call me. So now I've just doubled my lead flow just by being consistent for a long period of time.
Consistency is a huge problem with brand awareness.
Yeah.
Like in that people aren't consistent enough. So
yeah. Okay. But now why because this is a good time to go to SEO because SEO takes 12 months. Brand awareness takes 12 months. Why should I focus on brand awareness versus SEO? Like, doesn't SEO get me free calls? Can't I spend like $1,500 a month and I'll get free calls versus having to spend that $1,500 on Facebook? Mm-hmm. Like, why should I do one over the other? Because before you answer that question, why is there such a big push for SEO?
Okay.
Why does every single plumber on the planet want SEO? I need SEO,
I'm
Jered.
glad. Yeah.
I hear it so often.
So SEO is awesome when you have it, right? Like,
is there different levels of SEO?
So,
because I hear people spending $500 a month on SEO, and I hear people spending $5,000 a month on SEO.
And here's what is SEO's true purpose?
Yeah,
search engine optimization, which comes in different forms. Like there's in my brain, there's two sides to it. I want people to be able to find me,
Right.
And then I want to be page 1, number 1.
Right.
And
For
plumbing near me or plumbing services, drain repair, whatever. Right.
Right.
So you have these different keywords that people search on Google. And when people largely talk about SEO, it's Google.
yeah.
Now you're getting into we're getting into an era where like AI is becoming a thing. And
Yeah.
SEO is kind of in a weird spot. But so I think in order to understand why you keep hearing about it, it's important to understand the history of it, which is when SEO, search engine optimization, first became a thing, there were way fewer people like with a digital footprint. They were all on radio and TV. Like I started in 2004. That's what we did. That was the marketer's spot.
Yeah.
And then as Google stuff took off, like people and all the attention started to go into Google and Google started selling ads and things like that. It became, oh, I can rank number 1. And now you are getting a ton of calls.
It was probably easier back then.
Way easier.
Yeah.
And it's kind of has its own ups and downs because Google's been changing things consistently. So, so you end up with this market, like this service that marketers are like, we can help you with this. Let's go do this. And so they're like, if I build you a website with these pages, if I do these things, like you should show up really well. And guess what? It worked.
Yeah.
It worked for a ton of people and they were able to build big businesses because they were early adopters to new traffic. Okay. So then marketers are like, hey, this is great. Businesses are like, hey, this is great. Of course it becomes, you guys got to do SEO. SEO is killing it. It's amazing for us, right? Well, then what happens when another 100 of you come into the same marketplace?
Yeah.
All that effort is diluted and changed. So
Yeah.
now what you have is you have a marketplace where everybody's trying to get in on SEO to some degree.
Yep.
And I think that there, again, are 2 levels. Can you find me well? Am I represented well? And am I ranking number 1 in my market?
Yep.
The ranking number 1 in my market is going to vary dramatically on where you are, how many competitors you have in the market,
Yep.
and what they're doing.
Yep.
Right? And you don't know what they're doing. You don't get to see all of it. Google
Yep.
puts all this into a black box, and we work against like effects we pull levers to have effects, but you have to like pull the lever and then wait.
Yep.
Very few things are going to like ratchet you up. And you got to remember when a new company starts, they're like on page 40 and you slowly go up, but you don't start really feeling traffic on generalized search SEO until you're on page 1.
Yep.
Where's the best place to hide a body? Page 2 on Google. That's what people say.
Yep.
Like, so now, aside from that, you have maps. And this is another spot where people have like misconceptions on like the visibility.
Is maps the same?
No.
Because like I don't see maps. I see Google local service ads over maps when I search in my area.
So, but that's because Google's prioritizing paid first and foremost.
Yeah, it makes sense because they want to make money.
Yeah. And that's the thing that everybody forgets is Google is not incentivized to give you free traffic.
No.
There's only one thing that they're incentivized that could result in you getting free traffic. And that is if they believe that you are the best option for a user. But you better believe that they're going to put LSA above that because that's them being able to still rate you as a business and say, these are the good ones and these ones are paying us. That's why I think LSA exists.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to think about Google too, because they're not really, their customer is the searcher.
Yeah.
Their customer is not the person paying for ads or.
They've got like a 3-person dynamic. There's Google. Their user is the searcher, the customer is the business.
Yeah, but I mean, if Google is the number 1 search engine and they can maintain that.
Yeah. And I think they will for a long time.
They don't necessarily have to care about the advertiser.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that's kind of
they're trying to find the balance of caring for the advertiser and the user at the same time. That's what local service ads is.
Yeah.
Because what they do with local service ads is they're like, hey, we vetted these guys through these various actions that your business should be taking on local service ads.
Yep.
And we say that they're the best. They have the best reviews. They call people back. They pick up the phone.
Yep.
They fill out the data on our platform. They mark leads as booked. All those things.
Yep.
So we think they're good. So we're going to put those in front of you.
Yeah.
And you as the business, you go, I'm going to pay for that. So what's crazy about LSA is it's not just budget that influences it. It's like a mixture of SEO and paid ads.
Right.
And then the search ads or the PPC, those are only like budget and ad copy, old school. But then you got maps. Maps is you can still buy your way in occasionally using PPC.
Yeah.
But for the most part, maps is proximity plus reviews.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so then beyond that, you have your listing. So like go search plumber near me on Google and you'll see like by looking at the page, you can see what Google is prioritizing.
Yeah.
And
The
so
ultimate would be I've got my GLSA ad, I've got my pay-per-click ad, and I'm ranking in maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that. And you have an organic listing underneath that.
Yeah.
So like that's the best,
Yep.
but that, so that means you have to be looked at favorably by Google. You have to have your PPC dialed in. That means you have to be within proximity of the user,
Yep.
and you have to be favorably by Google on a second category for organic results. And
Versus if I live in your head
Yeah.
and somebody searches Dude Wash, Pensacola,
And
and I just pop up.
that's why I say SEO is really important for understanding that you have everything in place to show up well. But then take a break. Don't go chasing don't go chasing the keyword ranking thing for a while until you can consistently spend on that, and go chasing people's awareness of you. Because
Yeah.
I feel like SEO is Google's brain. I feel like brand awareness is the customer's brain. If you can if you can position the customer to search, your brand name, so like Dude Wash versus pressure washer near me, you win. You've circumvented Google's system with pure psychology.
Yep.
But
That's always been kind of like I watched Gary Vee give a talk at Rhino X.
I love this. Yeah.
He was giving it to like Tommy Mello and Ishmael Valdez and all these big heavy hitters who were like hardcore Google, pay for the lead, be expensive, run a good business on the back end, which is awesome.
When they were at their peak, that was the game.
Yes, it was 100%. But then Gary Vee's thing was like, why are you guys allowing your customers to go to Google? Why don't you get their attention and just skip Google?
Didn't he call it a Google tax?
Yeah.
Was it him?
He did.
Yeah. I love that.
The Google tax. You're paying the Google tax. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like hard for these guys to wrap their head around that. But what's funny is now you see it, like I've seen these guys kind of come full circle. They're like, oh, this social media attention game is the next.
It's the next.
It's the next thing.
But the only reason why they're seeing that is probably because Google isn't behaving the same way that it used to.
Right.
Right.
Why? Okay.
Which I think is just more people moving into that arena. And so those results are diluted.
Yeah. Probably because of COVID.
Yeah. Competition.
Everybody and their mother started a business during COVID.
Oh my God.
Because the leads were fat and heavy and cheap. And
remember when we saw the COVID dip? When all the money started running out from all the money that went into the economy?
Mm-hmm.
And like, you can look up the trends on Plumber Near Me nationwide.
I feel like we're still seeing. I feel like we're still in it.
Oh, I agree.
I feel like leads were way up here. I'll look in the camera so I can get it right. Way up here, and they went along, and then COVID stopped, and they just tanked, and we've just been here.
I don't think you have as many people entering the market as a new business as you used to, though.
You don't, but dude, I think right now is the greatest time to grow a business.
It's pretty darn good.
Yeah. Well, if you can do it now, like I think now
learn under a harder set of circumstances.
Yeah, and I don't really think it's like. Yes, it is harder. You're not going to be able to kick on GLSA or kick on something and just kaboom. Maybe in some markets you can, but for the most part, I'm not seeing it. It's a consistently performing the right actions over time.
Yep.
The cool part about that is that it forces you to grow a good business.
I think it turns you into a better business owner in general.
It does.
Like, because, we've had enough exposure to both people who learn to grow under adverse circumstances or people who don't.
Which means, like, if you can do it now and grow now, when it gets good, you're going to be killing it
Yeah.
And I 100% believe in the next, I don't know, 1 to 4 years, who knows, it's going to get good.
I think a lot of people are unprepared for. I remember you called me one day. I can't remember what you were dealing with. And you're like, dude, business is hard.
I say that all the time.
I know, but it was I remember the first time you told me it, and I was like, yeah, it is hard. Like, sometimes it's very hard.
It's a pain in the ass, is what
it is.
Yeah.
But I always call it, it's a series of puzzles that you solve each day to get to the next biggest puzzle. Like, no matter what, there's always another end boss. Right? So
problem after problem after problem after problem after problem.
And you've never encountered these problems.
Elon Musk calls it a shit funnel.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Alex Hormozy would say, like, it's 1,000 little BBs. All those little BBs are your problems.
There's no silver bullets. There's only golden BBs.
Yeah.
He says,
Yeah.
And like, I think that people go into business expecting it to be easier than it is. And then when things get hard, really that's where rubber meets the road, right?
I don't think people know how to solve problems in today's day and age.
Ooh.
I don't think they know how to even think about their problems. I was having this conversation with Joel. Joel used to sit in that seat on this podcast. He's now out washing. And I was like, Joel, you don't know how to like think for yourself through a problem. And I equated it to like, I was sitting at a table and I had an apple on the table. And I said, this is you. You want that apple. And so you reach your hand out to grab it and you hit a brick wall. Mm-hmm. And you don't have the aptitude to say, okay, let me take a look at this brick wall. Let me investigate this brick wall. Let me really understand this brick wall and see if there's some sort of other solution to get the apple. Maybe the brick wall is only 1 inch wide and you can just reach around it. Or maybe it's only 3 inches tall and you can just lift your hand up a little bit, come at it from a different angle. But what that takes is you understanding, okay, there's a problem. This is what the problem is. And then trying to think outside the box of different solutions for the problem. And let's say like your first solution is I'm going to reach over it and you try and it doesn't work. You have to be able to come back and say, okay, why didn't that work? And then understand why it didn't work and then come up with another solution to the problem and then go try and execute on that and then get feedback. And people like nowadays, like in Joel's case, he tries to outsource his thinking there. And I'm dogging on Joel here. Joel's a great guy. I don't mean to
I'll see him later
I'm not trying to dog on Joel. Joel is awesome guy. And this is not necessarily totally in context with Joel. There was a conversation that we were having about people thinking. But I see this with like people in my school group as well. Sorry, guys, in my school group. They'll have a problem. And, well, I really see two things. They just say, oh, I can't because I have this problem. That doesn't work. Because I ran into this brick wall. Right?
Yes. You've probably had employees that do that.
Oh, yeah, totally. And then you also have people who they run into the problem and they'll go to let's say they go to the school group or they go to the Facebook group or something like that. And they'll say, I'm trying to get this apple and I can't get it. Here's my problem. Mm-hmm. And then somebody will say, oh, try this. And they go, oh, that didn't work.
And that's it.
And that's it. Mm-hmm. Right. Whereas, and then you'll have the people who will listen to 10 million podcasts and 10 million books, and they'll take in all this information.
I have to have the perfect solution for this problem. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're like, this is Joel actually. So they're information rich, but they're very wisdom low. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to put the information into action. And like, they don't know how to like think about and understand the information and say, okay, what kind of action should that enable me to be able to do? And then when I do that action, what happens? And learn wisdom, right?
Yeah.
So
I think you are tuned to make decisions like that in a peculiar way. You and I have talked about this.
Me personally?
I think, well, thing is, yes, but I think that anybody can take that mentality and learn it and adopt it.
They should. They should go
Yeah.
like, there's a time for learning information. There's a time for asking for second resources.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, so if I have a problem, first thing I'm doing is I'm like trying to identify what my real problem is.
Yeah.
So I will
there's the
take
symptom and there's the problem.
Yeah, so I have a symptom. I can't. Every time I reach for my apple, I'm running into something.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time getting my apple. I will sit down in the morning and I will open up a journal. I say this a lot. Sounds gay to have a journal as a man, but it's not.
It's not.
It's
no,
a necessity.
It's clearing your head. It is so
And I
important.
will just literally write down, I'm trying to reach this apple, but I can't. And I'll sit there and I'll think about it. I'll be like, why the frick can't I reach that apple? Like, these are what keeps happening. And I'll go and I'll try to my damnedest. I'll identify what I think is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will say, okay, how am I going to overcome this problem? If I have any ideas, I write them down. And I will figure out which one is the easiest to implement that I think is going to get the biggest bang for my buck.
Low hanging fruit.
And I will go do that one first, okay? Now, if I don't have any ideas, that's when I go search for information. I will go to books, I'll go to podcasts, I'll reach out to somebody, I'll go to Facebook groups, and I will try to find that very specific information for my very specific problem that I'm having at the time. I do not like general information. It just like floods my head with too much stuff. And I'll have like 10,000 ideas, but then I'll have this problem that's just chilling there and never gets solved.
I think that there's the issue, like, I mean, there's a lot of issues around problem solving. Like
Yeah.
one is sometimes is first identifying that problem. Like
Yeah.
this is just business. This applies to marketing, but this is just business.
Mhm.
Like if you feel something is off, if your numbers look off, if there's generally something going on, you can usually feel it. There's a little bit of a gut check, right? But like you have to ensure that you get to the actual problem. So many people are like,
Yeah.
for instance, revenue is hurting. Cool. That's not the problem. That's the
Nope.
sign.
Yeah, that's the symptom.
And it's like, and then this is what happens in the marketing space. Revenue is hurting. Marketing's not doing something. Okay, cool. Let's go talk to marketing, right? And then we're like, well, by our metrics, we just had this happen. And like, by our metrics, things look good. Well, I don't know. And then
Mhm.
we started going, well, let's look at your estimates. Let's
Yep.
look at your close rates.
Which is
Yep,
data.
exactly.
So I think if you have a feeling like, okay, I think maybe it's this, I feel like it's this, you should go back up that feeling with data.
Yes.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've thought it was one thing
And
and then went and looked at the data and found out
like, oh,
it was something totally different. My favorite one is when I think I'm having a problem with a person. And then I go look at the
yeah.
data. I'm like, oh, actually, this is this is my best performing employee. He just happens to like annoy me a little bit, and so it like alters the way that I think about their. It's crazy.
Well, and I think that's actually a really good example of where your thinking can get off. Like
Mhm.
I had a similar thing. One of my web designers, I was seeing a few symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
and something happened, and I kind of took them to task
Mm-hmm.
on a thing. And I'm usually pretty good at going to hunt down the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I reacted quickly, and I ended up telling this person like, hey, this is a huge problem, blah, 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 and really getting on their case. And then what happens? A little fairy from somewhere else in my company comes and makes me aware of another piece of info. And they didn't
Yeah.
even know that it would affect this situation over here.
Yeah.
I'd double back to that employee and go, hey, I just learned something. And I reacted too quick. I'm really sorry. I want you
Yeah.
to know this. Like I try and avoid this. You caught it, yada, yada, yada. Right.
Mhm.
Like I like to make those things good. Right. But that jumping to conclusion
Mhm.
is something a lot of business owners do. And a lot of it's because they don't have the experience yet. Right. But
Right.
I agree. Go do some research, figure out your data for yourself, and then realize that you might still need an outside perspective. That's where like coaching helps. I often tell people like, if you don't have a coach, please get one before you jump into any service with us, because
Yeah.
better business owner makes for a better client.
Yeah.
So, but
just charging more, answering your phone.
yeah,
All that good
like,
stuff. Yeah.
but I agree that some people aren't thinking like through the true problem. And it's like they reach a point of exhaustion. And I'll tell you what, like the people who can't think their way through a problem, you will not survive in business. Eventually you're going to, it'll get really hard, and it'll get so hard that you decide to hang up your wrench, right?
Yes.
But for the people that do, doesn't make it easy, but you'll survive, and every problem will add to your lexicon. It'll add to your dictionary. And then you'll be able to figure out the next one a little bit faster, the next one a little bit faster, faster. And you'll become more proficient at running the business over time. Expect to be bad at it.
Yep.
That's the game. I like one of my first clients, because I bought my business, right? Like it was Prospector Outfitters, not Prospector Plumbing. But the owner, he and I were talking at a community event. Community events are important. And he came up to me and he was like, "How you doing?" Because I had just taken on his account along with a bunch of other clients. And I was like, "Doing good. Things seem to be working out. Like the path is working as intended." And he was like, "Cool. Just remember, you got to enjoy the game." And I've never told him that. I probably should. But like, I've always been like, if you can enjoy, what I took from it was, if you can enjoy the hard moments and the puzzles that come in front of you, like you'll end up enjoying the path even when it's rough. And but if you just break down at the first sign of like, oh, this didn't work as intended,
I quit.
It's like,
of course it's not,
which is disappointing to everybody who's rooting for you. Right.
Everybody who's not rooting for you loves it though.
That's true.
That's what. So I love solving problems. I think it's fun. I love thinking out of the box, and I love proving people wrong.
You do love proving people wrong.
You get this like I think about,
you've loved that
when I
since
come
you were 5
on a
years old.
problem and I'm going to quit. I think of all the people who are like doubting me, and I'm like, screw those guys. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to solve this problem.
I used to think that I used to only classify that as stubbornness.
Yeah.
But now I kind of classify it as tenacity.
It's stubbornness.
Well,
I'm stubborn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to classify it that way.
Yeah.
But like, I think that it's like the age old Rocky thing. Like, take your licks, get some hits, and then stand back up, try again. Try again. I mean, look at your early days. You started out.
Started with a partner.
Started with a partner. Which had a water drop in its logo. I don't know who made that. Whoever made that.
J&J. Terrible name. And
they're still around, to his credit. But like then you stopped, went out on your own. You stopped.
Went on my own. And then I stopped again.
Which I forgot about that. So you had like 3 false starts.
Then I went on my own. Yep.
And the thing is, I would say that each one of those, some people would be like, "Oh, so you tried, failed, tried, failed, tried, failed, tried, failed." No, I think it's just you kept trying. Like
I did, and it wasn't. I did, and I learned something every time.
Yeah. And I remember
it wouldn't have been successful the fourth. Like I wouldn't have done it the fourth time had I not failed those first 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it would just. I wouldn't have had the. Like there were definite skill sets that I gained each time, and an awareness of what the problems were that needed to be solved by the 4th time. Yeah.
But
I'm a slow learner. It took me the 4th time to figure the dang thing out.
I remember each time you called me and you're like, "Hey, I'm going back to the union. This is really hard."
Yeah.
Like I was disappointed because I kept going like, "Oh no, he can be better at this than I ever." That by wiring and tune.
You know what it was?
What?
All 3 times that I quit.
What?
There was one belief that held me back.
Which one?
That there was a limit to how much you can charge the customer.
Yeah.
That's the whole belief that held me back. Once I got past, and that's why I like find people who talk about, like I've told you this story. I'd scroll through and I'd see Grant Cardone and Tony Robbins and I don't know, all these people talking about mindset. I'm like, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah. Well, we used to
And-
poo-poo mindset.
Well,
You and I,
yeah.
I mean, it's
I still think focusing on the mindset is because if I had a limiting belief that I could only charge $140 an hour maximum, and that I had to trade my time, like there was a couple, that one, and that I had to trade my time for money.
Yep.
And then if I traded, like let's say I was $140 an hour and I told the customer it was going to be $140, but I was only there for 30 minutes. I believed it was wrong to still charge them the $140 an hour.
Yeah.
And so when I realized I could charge more than $140 an hour and that I had to charge for outcomes, not time, that's what opened up my entire world.
The owner that I bought my business from
Mm-hmm.
was the same way. And we were a
Right.
much smaller business when I bought it, right?
Yeah.
And I saw him over and over and over again make decisions that made it harder and harder for us as his employees to do good service
Yeah.
because he was tripping over the value of time versus value of outcome.
Yep.
And so like our business model is completely different. I talked to him the other day. He was like, I don't understand any of this. I was like, all right. But like, I remember like when you started to hit that because here's what happened on the marketing side is because we do our normal stuff for you. Right.
Yeah.
But when you had the business to the point where it was making money that could also support the marketing,
Mm-hmm.
because most clients who come to us, like they're already in business, they were farther along. And so we would just kind of like inject to what they had going on and try and amplify.
Mm-hmm.
But with you, I got to see from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an interesting perspective for me because it showed me where the pain points were early that I usually don't get to see. But it also showed me that the business has to be healthy for the marketing to truly work too.
Oh yeah.
And that's something like I'd always kind of known it, but it really, once you got your pricing down and you were like, oh, I guess I need to spend more money on marketing to get to this. Or like when we saw that February when Google costs just went, whoa, through the roof.
Yeah.
We were like, what is happening?
I was like, oh,
I know. And then you took a moment. Like, I remember you being nervous about it, but you're like, well, I ran the numbers, and if I can increase my marketing spend by barely increasing it for the customers at this point.
Mhm.
Like, so let's do that. Right. And
Right.
then we saw that the marketing was really starting to hit stronger.
Yeah.
And then things worked.
Yeah.
A lot of people well, it's the age old thing of like, oh no, we hit weird times, cut all marketing. It's like, cool. Where's your next customer going to come from?
Yeah. Dude, last thing you want to cut is marketing. You should go through your P&L, cut every unnecessary expense, and then, as bad as this sounds, cut labor.
Yeah.
If you don't have the work to support the labor that you have, you at all times you should have zero fluff in your business. You should have zero expenses that aren't actually doing you any good. And so the first thing you should cut is labor when times get slow. As bad as that sounds, like the last thing anybody wants to do is cut labor, but they'll hold on to this labor, and they'll bleed their cash reserves dry. And then they end up,
I can't dig out.
and they end up getting rid of the labor anyways.
Yep.
And then it's way harder to dig out. And then, or the business shuts down and all your labor's gone anyways. So you didn't really do anybody any good.
I mean, I understand it from like a owner or business in crisis standpoint,
Yeah.
but it's true. But I think it's also very, very easy to go, because here's the difference between marketing and labor. You made a promise to the labor.
Yeah.
And you
Your
want to be a
promise-
good owner. You want to take care of people,
Right.
right? But
If anything, like if you have too much labor and you want to avoid laying them off, then you need to be looking at your crap and going, okay, work's starting to slow down. Let's go back to the marketing and see, like, can we make any adjustments? Can we spend more money? How do we keep these guys busy?
yeah,
Instead of going, marketing's costing me too much money, I need to cut it.
Mhm.
Because that's the wrong move.
And it's easy on paper to say, like, because this is the wrong move. When you're
Yeah.
in that flow of like, oh man, we're dipping. What's
If
happening?
it's costing you too much money, it should be like, well, maybe I can do something different with my marketing. Maybe we can reallocate funds somewhere, or maybe I just need to readjust my business operations or the structure of how we price, or there's so many things you can do with your pricing to help you to afford the marketing. Like Prospector, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, just with the with starting Dude Wash again, and thinking about memberships and all that stuff. With Prospector in the beginning, when I did the $49 a month membership that included a complimentary tune and clean, that helped us grow so much, because the number one thing we got called out for was tune and cleans. The thing we never lost was a tune and clean. We always converted you on at least the $49 a month tune and clean. And we started building that recurring revenue from that.
Yep.
That helped a ton. Turned into a giant mess, and we ended up changing all that over into a $99 a year, 10% off, that kind of stuff. But because that was like the number one thing that people called us out for, and we offered at a price that we would always convert, 100% conversion rate, it brought in a ton of money that ended up just paying for our marketing budget.
Yeah.
And eventually more, right? So like with Dude Wash, we just did the number one thing we get called out for is a house wash.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, rather than going, like, I'm paying $200, $300, $400 to get a call, rather than going out there and not converting the house wash, what if I make the house washes cheaper so that it at least covers my marketing expense and the cost to go there and wash the home? So our new house wash is $3.99. We don't make margin on our house washes.
No.
But here's the interesting thing. If we go out and just convert the house wash, I didn't lose money. And then when I go out and I do the house wash at $3.99, it's much easier to add items to it. So I can do your house and your driveway now a little bit cheaper. My average ticket has gone up.
You turned and that's an interesting move, turning your primary service into essentially like your loss leader.
It's a loss leader, but it's not.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it breaks even, but it's not, not the profit center of that call.
It's not a profit center, but if I go out there and do your house and your driveway, all of a sudden I make margin.
Yep.
If I go do your house and your roof, I'm making margin. If I do your house and your pool deck, I'm making margin. If I do your house and your windows, I'm making margin.
Well, and that's the thing, is like a lot of people don't realize that shifting the dynamics of the offer
Yeah.
can make or break what you're doing for the close.
So like that's why I started talking about this is we're spending all this money on marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive. Like hands down, to buy customers costs you lots of money, right? It gets better and better and better because you start getting return customers, but to buy customers costs you at least $100, right? And then to have a technician then to have a CSR that answers that phone call, books that job, and then you send a technician out there, you pay for the gas, the wear and tear on the vehicle, the time for the technician, the time for the CSR to answer that phone call, and you send that tech out there and you walk away with $0, you're losing
so much money out the door because there's operational expenses tied to every marketing expense.
You're losing tons of money.
Yep.
Yeah. If you can, if you can structure something, some sort of offer or pricing or something to be able to convert more of those calls to at least cover your costs of going there and then make money on all the upsells,
it makes sense.
You're money ahead. You're just using your marketing budget more wisely on the back end with your business operations.
So to do that, you had to train your guys to look for those things.
Yeah.
Did you have to change much on the back end there?
No, not really. It's kind of twofold because if you have guys going out to a home and you have zero sales process and you suck at selling, manipulating your price probably isn't going to do you much good. Mm-hmm. However, if you go out and you've got just all killer salesmen, like they're just really good at communicating to the customer and finding out what they want and getting options in front of them that work for them and billing value of your company, you won't need to do price manipulations.
Yeah.
So there's two sides to the story here. Like I say all the time, like if I were to drop my rates to free, or even better, I'll pay you $100 if you call me and let me wash something at your house. What would my conversion rate be?
Oh, it'd be wonderful.
It'd be 100%, right? Yeah. And my call volume would probably go through the roof. I could probably slash my marketing budget.
Yeah.
But versus if I was $10,000 an hour, what would happen to my conversion rates?
You wouldn't close a single deal.
They go to 0.
Yeah.
Right. So price does play a factor in close rates.
It does.
Right?
But what you're doing is you're not dynamically changing the price so much as you're changing the way that the customer gets the information.
Well, it's what it is like the sale is made by, like, when somebody gives you money, they have to receive in value the same amount that they're paying you in money. Ideally, they would receive more value so that they consider the amount that they're paying you a deal, right?
Yep.
That's what, if you read The Science of Getting Rich, that's what he talks about when the trapper sells a painting to a guy and gets a rifle. It's like a $10,000 painting, but he gets a rifle. Like,
It carries more inherent value to the trapper.
right.
Yeah.
So the dollar amount should always be lower than the value that they get, right? The thing with home service is like that value is perceived. There's like
It's
real
perceived
value,
value.
there's perceived value, and there's things that get communicated, right? So like one guy might come out and wash your home and do just as good of a job washing your home. And Dude Wash could come out with wrapped vans, uniforms, multiple options, communicate all of these value points to the customer and do the exact same job washing your home, but you would be willing to pay Dude Wash more than the other company just because the value outweighed the dollar amount.
So
Right.
a good example of this
Yep.
is my lawn care company versus my plumbing company.
Yeah.
Plumbing company is Prospector, right?
Yeah.
But the lawn care company, like I've talked to my wife about this, and her experience between both is very different.
Oh, yeah.
When we need something from Prospector, it's a very like we feel nurtured through the experience of using Prospector.
Yep.
And after the fact, right?
For
Lawn
listeners
care-
who don't know, Prospector was my plumbing company in
Yeah.
Fairbanks, Alaska.
So versus the lawn care company we use, which is we're just locked in for the summer, but we don't want to use them next summer.
Yeah.
But we're looking at them and we're like, why can't they be more like Prospector? There's no difference in the quality of work between the two.
Right.
There's every difference between the quality of service.
Right.
And perceived value lies a lot in the service.
Yes.
And it's really important for plumbers, I think, to realize that the work is not what you're pricing.
Correct.
You're pricing the entire experience.
Yep.
And so like the lawn care company, never get a text message. We never know when they're going to call up. I've been recording podcasts at my home. And then the next thing I know, I hear coming through the
Yeah.
window. And I'm like, oh, crap. And then they're there for 45 minutes.
Yep.
And so, but it's such a disruption to use them. It's a pain in the ass
Mm-hmm.
versus somebody who communicates regularly. You know exactly what's going to happen. And so
Yep.
like every business should be, and this is what marketing is too, professional communicators.
That's what I think sales is.
I think so too.
Like people
Yeah.
think of sales as slimy used car salesman, whatever. And then it's really a bad word in our industry. But what I think sales is just communicating clearly to the customer
Mhm.
why we're a better option.
the
Like the guy who's been a master plumber for 8 years, who's very confident that he can fix anything in your home. If he just came to your house and said, look, I've been a master plumber for 8 years, and I'm very confident that anything that we find today, I can come up with a solution for you and get it fixed so that you don't have to deal with this anymore.
Mhm.
That customer's gonna be like, oh,
yeah,
they're gonna be so much more likely to buy from that person. Not because he sold them on anything, not because he was a salesman, just because he communicated his value.
he also showed up with confidence.
Yeah, and now exactly, confidence is you're communicating to the customer that you're confident, right?
It's your brand. Well, so
your
confidence
body
I think, needs to be
language.
exuded in everything, like
Yeah.
from your marketing, which goes out before your company, to the way you look when you show into the driveway, the 1st thing you say out of your mouth when you're at the door, how you close after looking at the work. Like if you have confidence in all that, if people feel like they can trust you, it's a huge deal compared to showing up and there's like a bunch of ratty papers on the dash. The van's dirty. Guy comes out and he's like hiking up his pants. Like I called a locksmith. So I locked myself out of the conference office or the conference room in the office. And it's like the only locksmith in town. And the guy who shows up was extremely overweight, huffing and puffing when he came up the stairs. I was like, okay, where's the room? And like his shirt was too short. His like he was dirty. He hadn't shaved, and that was like the intention of his beard was around the unshaven parts. Like, and I was like, I immediately looked at him and I was like, this is not the kind of plumber I want my company to help build.
Right.
And even though he's a locksmith, right? So he does the work just fine. I get it in the conference room. But everything about the interaction was like, he had to do a paper receipt, which I haven't seen in like 20 years.
Isn't that crazy?
He's sitting there and he's like putting it on carbon copy paper. He's like, yeah, just sign here. And I'm like, cool. How do I pay you? Like, can you take a card? And he's like, yeah. He pulls out his phone and starts. I'm like, why? What's the point of these two systems? So, but that whole experience, like, what am I going to recommend him? No. And the last thing you want to be, like, I had somebody comment on my socials about this, but a guy being like, all you got to do is show up and do good work. And I was like, no. Did
that locksmith do good work?
Yeah, he did fine work. You know what he didn't get? A referral. You want to know why? Because I didn't want to be the person to say, hey, yeah, just call this company over here. No, because I would be embarrassed if they did and they showed up to the home and they looked like that. And people aren't thinking about that in their marketing and their experience stack. It's like, no, you are not just a plumber. You are a customer service like powerhouse if you do this right. And so that experience is really fun.
Yes, I agree. I think the moral of today's story is like the thing that is actually going to make your marketing work. Yes, you have to do marketing. You have to spend money on it. There's a bunch of different avenues you can go down. But the thing that actually makes your marketing work is being able to get the customer in your door and, number one, make a good amount of money off the back end of that, but then also be able to have that customer return and that customer be willing to refer their friends and give you a review.
Yeah. It kills me when we see really good lead flow come in and then we see next to nothing as far as reviews, which tells us that there's probably going to be next to nothing as far as return customer.
Yeah.
And it's like, we did everything to help you. And then when we start diving deeper, we're like, oh, they didn't have their experience locked in.
Yep.
So like you can market perfectly and lose every call.
Well, yes. And like most, we'll end with this. Like most plumbers, in my experience, they want to do a good job. They want to serve the customer at a high level. They just can't afford to because they're not charging that customer enough.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
We have a huge difference between clients. Like now that we've worked with tons of plumbers, like being able to go, okay, what's your average ticket? And usually when somebody comes through our door and it's part of our onboarding, we're like, oh, this is your average ticket? Dude, this is going to be really hard. You need to go back and reanalyze that.
Yeah.
And often we're like, okay, cool. Go talk to Jered.
Yeah. For real. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on.
No problem. Be here same time next week.
Yeah. We'll make it a regular thing. No, when you come down next year, we'll do it again.
Yeah. Come down here about once a year.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'll be here in October.
We'll do it again in October.
Sounds good.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Let me tell you the tale of Jered Williams, the marketing man.
Born beneath the northern glow, through icy winds and endless snow. One dark night, disaster came. A plumbing failure, a world in shame. Searching online, no ads in sight. No plumber answered in the endless night. The pipes burst wide, the earth gave way. His home was gone, his mother lost. With fists clenched tight to the frozen sky, Tyler made a vow, a marketing cry.
Arise, their name shall stand. I will forge their fate with my own hand.
Tyler Williams, the marketing man. With cosmic power, he built the plan. Fire in his eyes, campaigns in his hand. He builds lost plumbers across the land. From frozen wastes to city skies, plumbers thrive where legends rise. He roamed alone through ice and stone. The Alaskan wilds became his home. He fought off bears with furious might and carved a shelter through the night. But cold winds whispered, his breath ran thin. He stumbled weak, his strength grew dim. Then through the storm, a shadow tall, a mighty mammoth, a titan's call.
I am Mark, the marketing mammoth. Tyler, your time has come. I will teach you the cosmic secrets of persuasion and advertising. Ancient marketing magic lost to time. Through my wisdom you shall rise, and the world will always find a plumber in their time of need.
Tyler Williams, the marketing man, born of the wild with a mammoth plan. He bends the stars, he shapes the sky. For plumbers lost, he lifts them high. With words like thunder, ads like fire, he turns their dreams into empires. No more shadows, no more doubt. With mammoth power, he pulls builds out. For 35 years through frost and fate, he studied with Mark, making marketing great. He grew 10 feet, his beard turned wild. With mammoth wisdom, no longer a child. His eyes burned green with northern light. His voice could shake the stars at night. Then Mark the mammoth raised his head, and to his pupil this is what he said.
Tyler, you have mastered the ancient ways, the lost art of persuasion, the magic of marketing. Your time is now, the world is waiting. Plumbers live in darkness, but you shall be their light. Go forth, fly to their shops, make them known across the cosmos.
Mark raised his tusks and split the sky. A portal opened, a world passed by. Through time, through space, a rift was torn, and Tyler Williams was reborn.